to our finally sunny April EAC meeting. Though it's blustery. Plants, yes, but plants will not be denied. I had my first crocuses coming up, well, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, so good things to see. Okay, review, approve the minutes from the March 19th meeting. Do I have a, hi Bess. Do I have a vote in support of the minutes? All raise your hands. Okay, unanimous. Public comment.
Good evening. While one may say actions speak louder than words, words convey meaning and are critical in prompting action. Hence, I present the resolution before you for adoption. Good evening. I am Roberta Winters. I'm a resident of the Township and live at 326 Williams Road in Rosemont. On behalf of the League of Women Voters of Radnor Township, to which I belong, and also the League of Delaware County, of which I am president, I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak to you about a proposed resolution. Basically, the resolution before you requests that you in your role, and hopefully the Township, change your choice of words in addressing the current climate situation from climate change or climate crisis to climate emergency. The League of Women Voters has long held and advocated for a natural resources position at the national, state, and local levels. Basically, we believe natural resources should be managed as interrelated parts of life-supporting ecosystems. Resources should be conserved and protected to assure their future availability. Pollution of these resources should be controlled in order to preserve the physical, chemical, and biological integrity of our ecosystems and to protect public health. While this Environmental Advisory Council consistently operates with the same premise, the current climate situation demands that we prompt others to do more and to do it without further delay. This is why the delegates of the League at their 2024 National Convention adopted this resolution. This is why I hope that you, too, the Environmental Advisory Council, will do the same. The word emergency is warranted to describe the situation as you continue to educate the public and recommend plans and programs to appropriate township agencies. The words of this resolution substantiate the call for an emergency. While I know you can read, I'm not sure if those zooming in or listening on their phones can grasp its meaning without hearing the words. So I'll read to you again the resolution on the climate emergency requested by the League of Women Voters of Radnor Township and Delaware County for adoption by the Radnor Township Environmental Advisory Council. Whereas the environmental condition adversely affecting Earth and its inhabitants, once referred to as climate change, has advanced to become a climate emergency, including ocean acidification, damage to marine ecosystems and food sources, and a rise in sea levels resulting in flooding and the displacement of coastal businesses and residences. Extreme weather events, including extremes of temperature as well as increasingly devastating storms and wildfires, causing severe harm to America's agriculture, forestry, and tourism industries. Adverse impacts on human health, as well as the introduction of new vectors for infectious disease, and species extinction and related threats to biodiversity, with the accompanying grave impacts on food and water security, economic security, and social-emotional well-being. And whereas the world's leading climate scientists predict that this climate crisis will catastrophically intensify if prompt public action is not taken through public policy and legislation to curb emissions and remove atmospheric carbon dioxide through natural and technological sequestration. And whereas the climate crisis disproportionately afflicts the most vulnerable among us, members of indigenous nations, people of color, rural and coastal communities, and low-income households in general, all of whom have fewer resources to cope with the common consequences of climate change, such as property damage, displacement, job loss, and health problems. And whereas prompt and robust mobilization of civil society, acting in concert with all levels of government to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions is necessary to avert or even to mitigate the progressive and increasingly catastrophic deterioration of Earth's environment, and with it, massive social disruption. Therefore, be it resolved that we, the Environmental Advisory Council, declare a climate emergency and will take action as appropriate to address this crisis within our communities. We further resolve to encourage the Radnor Board of Commissioners to do the same. I sincerely appreciate consideration. I'm optimistic that you will adopt the words climate emergency to continue to raise awareness and prompt actions that, is in a sense, speak louder than other words through Radnor Township and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Winters. This proposal for us to adopt this resolution is open for discussion.
Yes, my first question is, was this resolution already adopted before? Because I thought by reading in the email traffic that the township already adopted it.
Lisa's 10th of April email says it was presented to the July 2022 EAC and discussed briefly at the August 2022 EAC, but did not have a quorum, so we could not vote on adopting it. But now we happily have a quorum. So are there any further questions before we vote? Or comments?
I think in the August of 2022, it was recommended to bring to the Board of Commissioners. Has that happened? Okay. Okay.
I'm not aware of it being brought to the Board of Commissioners. In 2022, was the League of Women Voters resolution for declaring a climate emergency put to the Board of Commissioners? Okay. I presume that the EAC can certainly adopt this resolution and as being asked here by the League of Women Voters to publicize and take action to implement the declarations of the resolution. So can we have a motion to vote?
Can I ask one more question before?
Yes.
What are the practical consequences of adopting it? Does it have any consequence or obligation linked to it? It's just a statement? The words. The words, okay.
Yes, it can be certainly publicized through our own website and perhaps in other communiques as a reference to this actual resolution. And I'm sure the Clearinghouse website in the League of Women Voters website has this resolution. So
I have another question. Are any other townships, have they adopted this resolution, or would we, Radnor, be the first?
It's under consideration by the Delaware County Sustainability Commission. It was presented there twice, and hopefully it'll be adopted this month as well. Okay.
okay.
It's one of those things that's been on my back burner for a while, and I keep pushing it, and then I get involved with something else, and I think it's time to do it again because the emergency is certainly more prevalent than ever.
Yes. Okay, I move that we vote on this resolution. Any second?
I second it.
Okay, all those in favor of adopting this resolution by the Radnor Township EAC, raise their hand. Thank you. All right. So you can tell Delaware County Sustainability Office, or I will, yes. Uh, Okay, announcements. Radnor Township Shade Tree Commission. We have opportunities as residents in this town to ask for a free tree to be planted on the street in front of your home to enhance the tree canopy. This would be installed for free, a 1.5-inch diameter, 7 to 14-foot tree between April 11th and April 18th. So that is, the offer stops there on Friday.
Dan?
Yeah.
I requested one a few weeks ago and was heard that I'm on a waiting list, that they've all been,
Oh,
so I wouldn't, I mean,
okay.
they said I'll be priority next year, but, and I, as soon as they announced it, I signed up. I was told,
Well,
there's
that's,
no more.
the good news is we've got a strong response and interest in trees on the street. The bad news is there aren't enough. Bess, I know you made some for West Wayne Avenue.
Yes, and so this might be a separate kind of street tree order
Oh,
that we're going to be investigating.
okay.
Or just
All right.
looking at.
Well, all to the same purpose.
Right.
Yeah, then can we find out how many people requested a tree and how many trees did we have? Because there seems to be definitely a mismatch. My neighbor also wanted to order trees, and on the second it went out, it was basically already full.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Our former colleague, Eugenia is on the Shade Tree Commission. Yep. Arbor Day Foundation and the PICO Partnership are also into Arbor Day. You can sign up for a free tree to plant in your yard. It started March 17th. You can register at arborday.org/PICO. arborday.org/PICO. Earth Day celebration at the Mainline Unitarian Church on April 26th, 1 to 5 p.m., free admission. It features gardening experts, native plant sales, family activities, environmental education in a festive atmosphere.
Do you know the address? Where that
For the
is?
Mainline Unitarian Church, yes, that's 816 South Valley Forge Road in Devon. 816 South Valley Forge Road in Devon. Radnor Township Parks and Rec Department present its annual Great American Backyard Campout at the Willows. This will be Saturday, May 13th, with activities between 4 and 7:30 p.m. You can visit radnor.com radnor.com/camping for registering.
Dan, May 13th is a Tuesday.
Excuse me?
It's a Tuesday. You said, I believe I heard you say Saturday, May 13th.
I'm sorry, Saturday, May 31st, 4 to 7:30 p.m. Last year, we engaged in creek exploration. Darby Creek flows through the Willows and Skunk Hollow, and there'll be equipment for looking at some of the invertebrates that are pulled up from under rocks inside the stream. And these creatures really indicate the health of the stream, and it's a way for assessing what potential toxins are in the water. So we'll be involved in that. I've got the equipment that I inherited from our former chairperson. So that's May 31st at the Willows. Also the Willows, with the Delaware County 4-H Club, is sponsoring the Eco Camp, August 4th to 8th. 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. for ages 5 to 7 years old. And this is at the Willows Mansion. Early bird pricing until May 1st is $130 per camper. After May 1st, $150 per camper. More information and registration at willowsparkpreserve.org. Okay. Ongoing business, building energy use benchmarking. No updates this month, but we are on track to work with Delaware Valley Resource Planning Commission in setting up a energy benchmarking program for large commercial buildings in the township. And this will go, I think, a long way in improving energy use efficiency. So we'll follow that development over the next few months. The EV charging station at this building will be completed and operational this week. So that is good news.
So is that open to the residents?
Okay, it's only for police, because I think there's only a few charging stations. It's for the F-150 Lightning special service vehicles.
And
I
how
think
many
some of the
veh-
money was available through a grant that is a grant for police, and that's
Yeah.
part of the reason.
Yeah.
How many vehicles are there?
As I understand, there's 2 F-150 Lightnings
Yeah.
and a Chevy Blazer
Yes.
EV.
Because there's no public EV charging stations.
Right.
And it's unfortunate that they can't share those with the public. I mean, even if they, pay,
Right.
because there's no option unless you go to King of Prussia, way past King of Prussia.
Yep. We lost one at the Radnor train station.
So it just seems unfortunate that nothing was allocated for the residents.
I think, I don't want to misspeak, my recollection is, again, that it was a grant that is restricted in its use, and the money in its use. I don't disagree with you, that it would be great if it were open. And we can certainly look at, if it's possible, after some time, people and the police get an idea of when they will and won't be using it, we can see what can happen then. But I don't think there's a billing thing on it. There might be, but I don't think there is, other than what you would pay PICO, what we, the township, would pay PICO.
Okay. Let's see. Building energy system upgrades. The heating, ventilation, and air conditioning upgrades for the township building by Practical Energy Solutions is advancing, and the township staff are going to be choosing between different high-efficiency heat pump options, as well as rooftop air conditioning units and cooling tower frequency drives. So all of this will be a big improvement in energy use for heating and air conditioning. There is work is progressing for the Public Works solar array, which will be on the roof of the Public Works building. The work will start second quarter of this year. And the roof replacement on this building will be coordinated with the planned HVAC equipment installation on this building the second quarter at the same time. Okay. LED light installations. There is the rebates for the LED light bulbs have been applied for, and should be issued within 4 weeks of that request, so that should be by the end of this month. And lastly, Progress is working in doing the final LED streetlight installations at the various apartment complexes through the HOAs. Okay. Annual EAC native plant giveaway on April 26. Can I ask either Sven or Bess or Carol to discuss?
I can give an update. So we have the plans, they are ordered. And can you hear me?
There you are.
Now it works again. Okay, good. So and I will pick them up with a pickup truck in New Jersey. I have the paper bags to put them into the paper bags. I have the leaflet here from the township. And I ordered the seeds and these little other paper bags that everybody gets some seeds on top of it. And I think then we are good to go. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you.
I was thinking that we should actually use the opportunity maybe to do a spontaneous market research with the people who come and pick up the plants. Because we can easily program online in a questionnaire, put it on a QR code, and everybody that comes by just takes a picture with its phone, and then we can ask questions, because I would love to understand what drives somebody to do it. Are there things that they could do more? Are they interested in, for example, tree planting or in other initiatives? So that we get some quantitative idea about, let's say, the level of interest in the township for this.
Excellent. Just ask them also opinion about electric lawn equipment, specifically gas leaf blowers, or phasing out gas leaf blowers. So
I can do that.
we
Yes.
can. Oh, okay. Thank you. Draft one.
Can I ask you, because I'm a little confused about, how do people sign up to get plans? They've already done, it's all done, they're all gone, all claimed,
So-
or what?
They can sign up with the Radnor Township, let's say in our magazine, you have a QR code where you can sign up, and you can just sign up on the webpage.
The webpage for,
It's through the Parks and Rec.
Through
There are
Parks and Rec.
programs, the list of programs on the Parks and Rec page.
okay.
So it's similar to like ordering a pumpkin for in the fall. And the last I checked, there were 38 left
Slots,
slots.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we will be sold out.
Yeah.
By the way, another update, because you remember that last year we did this wildflower planting on the Radnor parking lots
Yeah.
in front of the Methodist Church or the Fire Brigade building. And I was there today. Unfortunately, I would have to say, not too many plants survived. We put 600 in, and I could find around about 50 of them. I have some hope that some more come out. But now, since the township put a lot of mulch on top of everything, now we have a problem, although we discussed not too much this year. But so I raked away the mulch that were burying the plants. But the lesson learned, I think, is we have to really think, if we want to do something like this again, to have let's say, a better environment that is less disturbed, or can rest for 2 years until the plans are fully established. Because it was a lot of work. Of course, we had some bad luck because there was no rain for 2 months. And now I would say the churn rate of having around about 10% survive is just too low. Yeah.
Did they not survive because of the drought or because of the mulch? Or both?
I think if there hadn't been a drought, the likelihood would have been higher that they also get through the mulch. Yes.
That they what? They would
That they
survive
would
the
grow
mulch?
through the mulch. Some of the plants, actually, the pestamon, that is still there. I couldn't find any of the grasses. I think that is a problem. But the problem was that we didn't have 6 weeks of rain. It was absolutely dry, and then we watered once, and then it didn't rain for the next 4 weeks. So unfortunately, it was not the best time to plant.
So do you need help on Friday for the bagging of the plants, and what's the plan?
Well, I've offered my place, which is on North Bellevue Avenue, for the bagging. My truck only has 2 seats. I don't think you want to.
No,
And
not so much picking them up, but once you get back, do you need help?
Right, we could
Where are
ha-
you gonna do
Yeah,
the bagging?
But at my house, the bagging could be at my house. I have a table outdoors, weather permitting, or in my shop, either way. So if you're interested, I'll give you my address, both of you.
Okay, and what, the time?
We're planning on leaving at 9 o'clock Friday morning.
Yeah, to pick up the plants, you have to pick up the plants, bring them back. If we meet at, what, 1 p.m.?
Oh, you want to leave here at 1 o'clock?
No, we leave at 9 p.m.
9
9 a.m. to go to New Jersey, pick up the plants.
Yep.
Then we come back, and I think we should be back by 1 p.m. so that we can.
Well,
back them.
hopefully before then, but I
Yeah.
know that's a realistic time frame, given
Yeah.
a Saturday in New Jersey. Yeah.
Friday.
Friday.
Oh, traffic.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to help if you want help.
Thank you, Carol.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll keep you in touch by phone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You can just send me a text when you're back.
Yeah.
Good, let's
I
do
live
that.
around the corner from
Yeah.
around the corner from you.
Yeah.
In between you two.
Yeah.
So I have one more. Bess, I think you wanted also some of the plans for this school initiative.
Yes, that would be great. Unless if we want to, do we have some that are
Yeah, we will hold, I think,
extras?
I would say 200 plans back.
Oh,
Yeah, that was the idea.
okay.
And then I bring them just on Saturday morning, we bring them with us to the township building.
Okay,
And you could pick them up there.
okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
Good.
What initiative was that, Bess?
Well, with this more of a greening initiative at the Wayne Elementary, and
Okay.
even we could divide them with Ethan Elementary and Radnor Elementary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, public education, Radnor EAC lecture series. Our next speaker is our friend Michael Wheelbacher, who has presented twice before. He's going to be speaking Tuesday, April 29th at 6 p.m. on climate change in the Delaware Valley. Our next speaker will be Dave Rustay, Director of Water Quality and Environmental Compliance from Aqua PA. He's going to be talking about drinking water treatment and quality on Wednesday, April 30th at 6 p.m.
Dan, do you think it's a little odd to have back-to-back?
This is the way things shook out. When I offer a speaker a range of times, I often widen it to 2 to 3 months, and they pick. I know. But if they're interested, they'll come twice in the same week. Now, for the next presentation, Mike Craney from Willistown Conservation Trust will be speaking about native plants and meadows, creating habitat at home on May 6th at 6 p.m. He has asked for a $250 honorarium. I would like to ask a vote of the members here to approve or not this honorarium at this amount. So,
Are we having to pay Michael Wildbacher again?
yes,
And how much is his honorarium?
that was $300. So,
I've voiced my opinion before, but I just think that's a bit high.
yes, I know.
I think that's high, and he comes and sells his book, so, I mean, I think that's too much. I mean, you know, we're a small group, and
Right.
it's not like we're attracting hundreds of people, so
I know. His
I would,
topics are so topical, though. The microplastics and climate change. I was really taken by that. I understand, and we may not need to ask Mike in the future until there's another fascinating, and then we'll deliberate then. So let me just give you the bottom line, our budget right now. We are awarded at the beginning of the year $3,275. $3,275. So we've paid Jennifer Santoro honorarium for $200, $500 to the Radnor Library, Seed Library, $300 for Mike Wheelbacher, we expect in April, and $250 for Mike Craney in May. So that is a total of $1,250 away from $3,275, leaving a balance of $2,225. Probably could have put this on a slide, but anyway. So we've used about $1,200 of our $3,200 budget as of fourth month of 2025. So
I suggest going forward, we should just pay everybody the same amount. Yeah? So
okay,
like we say it's $200 or $250 or
okay.
whatever the right number is, but that we don't have the spread between $500 and $200 for this, for giving a
Yep.
talk. Yeah?
I agree.
Good.
I think, again, Michael's good, but, you know, we already gave him 300, and then to have another 300 for us.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should reduce it
Okay.
and maybe, you know, 200 max. There's enough people out there that can speak that we. that I'm
So
sure we
you're
could
proposing 200 as a fixed rate.
Well, I mean, I agree with Sven that rather than having, you know, one person getting one amount.
No, I agree, but if we could agree to a fixed rate right now of 200 or 250. What are-
I'm going to say 200.
What are people's feelings here? 200? Okay, 200. 200 it is. Okay. So all in favor of 200 for our next speaker, who will be Mike Craney, 200 on May 6, 200. Do I get all in favor of 200?
Have we already committed to 250 for him, though?
I may have in an email, to be honest.
Yeah.
So going forward, we'll do it after, this.
Yeah.
Yep, okay, fine. All right, so I'll say it's a unanimous vote for 200. And then lastly, economical environmental benefits of municipal energy systems by our consultant for green energy and green building. That's Practical Energy Solutions. They're going to be speaking on May 21st between 7 and 8 p.m. And lastly, Bess, you've arranged for Phil Forth from the Philadelphia Orchard project to speak September 16th at 6 p.m. about creating and maintaining edible landscapes. Do you expect an honorarium from him?
200 would be great for him,
Okay,
yeah.
And this is virtual, this isn't an in-person.
It is, it's virtual.
yep, okay. Fair enough. And of course, our Haverford EAC workshops, which are advertised through our EAC website, are on April 23rd, transforming your yard with grass removal, planting pollinators and native plants, virtual presentation. May 11th, there is Heat Pump 101, another virtual presentation. May 14th, 7 p.m., backyard composting, which is a workshop, which is virtual. Okay, our print advertising. The Radnor News Community Newsletter. I want to thank Beth, Sven, and Carol for the articles and paragraphs and graphics put into the spring issue. It'll be the EAC lecture series, Recycling Guidelines for Radnor Township, based on Charles Noble's talk back in October from Republic Services, and Go Wild in Your Backyard article, and the graphic ad for the April 26th plant giveaway. So thank you very much, folks, for all of that copy.
That's Bess and Spin, because I didn't really contribute to that. So.
Okay, all right. I'll just keep mentioning your name until. Suburban Life. Bill Donahue, the editor, said that the April 26th native plant giveaway and how to recycle in Radnor Township articles or ads will be in press in late March. I don't subscribe to Suburban Life. Has anyone looked online? I have yet to. I'll check it. And the League of Women Voters, the Delco Environmental Clearinghouse. I've submitted our Radnor EAC lectures and the Haverford EAC workshops for posting. And future small articles to put in earth-friendly tips. I'll be open to any suggestions from my colleagues or the public. And certainly these could be also published in other media as well. So please let me know. The Eco-Friendly Yard Program, I have an email to Donnell asking if she can still publish an article for it based on the article that was published in the Radnor newsletter 2 years ago. And if she's doesn't have the time to do that, I will ask one of you to do it. The gas leaf blower phase out, as I did take a little walkabout at the base of the hill from which the, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of something else. Gas leaf blower phase out. We have been talking about various ways to go about promoting a ordinance or voluntary phasing out of gas leaf blowers in the township because of their noise and extreme pollution. One idea was, aside from an ordinance, which may be problematic unless it's over a region, if not the state overall, is obtaining rebates for turning in gas leaf blowers for purchasing electric leaf blowers. West Norriton has a rebate program whereby 10% of the cost of a gas leaf blower, I believe, yes, 10% of a cost of a new leaf blower, electric leaf blower, would be returned to the purchaser as a form of a rebate. The maximum would be $100. And this would apply to all kinds of electric equipment, lawn mowers, trimmers, hedge trimmers, chainsaws, edgers, aside from leaf blowers, handheld or backpack. So I know Sven and I had a conversation about a rebate program for our township. And Sven, you want to talk to that at all?
Yes, I don't think that this is a good idea. And the reason is it's expensive. And the second one is it creates basically a pull effect from people most likely that would anyways buy an electric leaf blower. So you only achieve, of course, an impact if you replace a gas-blown leaf blower or a gas leaf blower with an electric one. So it only works if people come to the township building or wherever and hand in their gas-powered device against an electric device.
Mm-hmm.
And not when it's broken, when it's still functional. Yeah. And for that reason, I believe it's pretty cumbersome to set up, and it's normally an effect that supports decisions that would have been taken anyways. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To go to an electric leaf blower.
Mm-hmm.
I think the best way to limit gas-powered leaf blower usage is start out with the noise ordinance and start limitation of noise, because now it's spring, the lawn mowing season has started, and I can tell you in my street, it's every day another company comes, and it's always 2 hours of leaf blowing in every single day in the week. And I have one neighbor that has it on Saturday afternoon, and then I know Saturday at 6 p.m. I have 24 hours calm, because on Monday it all restarts. So we have to think more about the noise impact, I believe, which is a much easier story to tell
Mm-hmm.
than to replace the gas-powered leaf blower with a $100 check to an electric one.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
I agree with Sven, and the majority of the gas leaf blowers in Radnor Township are by the big lawn companies that are taking care of all the lawns. So again, I don't see that being a real advantage.
Mm-hmm. We do have a noise ordinance. It is, in certain parts, it does specify actual hours of the day and days of the week, but it is not specifically identifying what is causing the noise in a lot of cases, especially lawn equipment. Nowhere is lawn equipment mentioned. They mentioned garbage trucks, maybe radios or amplifiers. Someone gets on their electric guitar, but it is an idea that if we, of course, it would be singling out gas leaf blowers if we put a restriction on their use, for example, as you suggested, Sven, only during weekdays, perhaps between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. It would have to be maybe widened to all lawn equipment. I don't know. It's something to consider. We have to think what is already in place, what they understand is their limitation on when to operate. In my neighborhood, it starts at 7 a.m. 6 days a week and doesn't let up until 5. So we could ask for a quiet Saturday, but beyond that, I don't know what more we can ask of commercial landscapers.
Are we aware of any other townships or communities that have imposed a noise restriction?
Well,
And
that's a
now-
good, yes, I know there are some. Whether they have singled out gas leaf blowers, I don't know. Carol, why don't you look up noise ordinance in our neighboring municipalities?
I think it would be a good idea to combine it, a positive incentive with a negative one, that you limit the use of gas-powered leaf blowers on Saturday and Sunday, that you can't use them at all. But if you want to use an electric one as a commercial company, of course you can do that. Because there needs to, or you do, let's say, from after 5 p.m. you can use an electric one, but not a gas-powered leaf blower. That gives an incentive for a commercial company to buy at least one of these devices, that they can use them for an hour. Because the big concern is, of course, the battery length.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is a starting point to test it, if you can test it for a couple of hours. And you don't have any limitation in it, for it in these hours.
Yeah. I've checked both with our Department of Public Works, Ricky, and also the manufacturers, both Milwaukee and second company, on the longevity of their batteries for their backpack leaf blowers. And it ranges from 30 to 45 minutes, depending on the power level you choose. So this is about half the time that a gas leaf blower can operate on a full tank. That would be something if it was limiting the use of electric leaf blower on Saturday. It may not be too onerous, but they would have to invest in several batteries if they wanted to operate continuously in the field, or they have the charging apparatus on their truck. So it will be an expense that we'd be asking them if they were to go the route of electric leaf blowers just for one day of the week. So I think we need to keep talking about this, because these are all good ideas and observations. Anyone else have an opinion about the rebates or noise ordinance?
I would just add, I think it's maybe difficult, we'd have to separate out lawn mowers from leaf blowers, because I think, some people, the only time they can mow their lawn is on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that'll be a lot more difficult, but I
Yeah.
think leaf blower is a bit more manageable.
Let's hope so. Yep. Okay. The Native Perennial Seed Library. Carol.
Well, we got, as you know, the grant was approved. Melissa said, and I checked with her, but unfortunately, she's out this week, so I don't have an answer, but the check was being mailed to the Radnor Memorial Library. So they've already started ordering their seeds and their supplies, and then they hope to be at the plant giveaway with some sort of little bookmark or something they're working on to announce, the opening of their seed library. So I think it's moving forward. I thought once they're all up and running, maybe we could have a field trip.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe we could hold our meeting over there. They do have like a conference room in the library. We could have Joyce speak, and then we want to look, we also want to look at ways to help publicize it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, they're just getting up and getting everything running.
Do they also plan to plant some of these seeds in front of the library?
Well, I would hope so. I think that they have a garden club, And I don't know if the garden club is responsible for planting there, but that's a good question.
Because when we selected the area for this wildflower planting last year, the idea from the gardener from Chanticleer was to use the area in front of the library, because there it's of course the most visible change if you go from lawn to a perennial installation. Yeah.
Mhm.
But if they come on Saturday, let's talk to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay, great. Okay, Aronimink Golf Club clear cutting 9 acres. Just quickly, we've heard that at Aronimink Golf Club, they're clear cutting 9 acres for a temporary PGA broadcast center for a tournament in 2026. There is concern that Darby Creek at the base of the hill on which the broadcast center will be could receive a lot of flooding and sediment buildup if proper stormwater controls are not put in place and maintained. We have some assurance from our township engineer that the stormwater controls will be adequate and that there is a maintenance agreement in place to maintain them over several years. I did take a walk on Paper Mill Road, which is at the base of the hill, which parallels Darby Creek, so it's very accessible to keep an eye on the health of the creek. Unfortunately, there are some houses at the base of the hill between Darby Creek and the hillside on which the broadcast center will be, that if there is stormwater, they could be hit directly. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Are the trees they're removing, are they large, mature trees?
Yes, it's a mature forest. They actually took an inventory of all the trees, and a lot of them are ash trees, apparently. Many of them are 30-inch diameter or at chest height, so they're not insubstantial.
So are we going to do long-term monitoring to see if negative?
Well, certainly,
effects come up?
I think I would like to take pictures of Paper Mill Road and the homes there as the construction proceeds, and especially after major rainstorms this summer, just to keep an eye on the health of the creek and surrounding land.
So I know we've been talking about this for a long time, but there's no option, it's just so hard for me to believe that they have to decimate 9 acres of trees for 2 weeks.
Well, it seems to be water under the bridge because it's approved and it will go ahead. Yeah.
Ian, I'm at the monitor now. Can we activate? Okay, there you go. Thank you. No, I agree with you, Carol. And it's unfortunately a fait accompli. It is their private land, and they're doing everything according to the township, Newtown Township ordinances. So I'm going to jump ahead to the work that several people have done on a logo, including Donnell and Bess and Sven, maybe Carol. This is the version 6 that I believe Bess sent to me. I'm personally very copacetic. I think this is wonderful. And I would like to with the quorum here, get a vote on this as a logo for our EAC that could be put on signs for example, the Radnor Township Fall Festival and events that, for example, Bess is going to tomorrow with the elementary schools, even on our copy that is being published. So,
Dan, this is actually this is the one that Donnell sent, and then I revised it, added a couple more birds, and then made the water look a little bit more like it's in perspective, like the birds are moving off into the distance, the water is moving off into the distance. So this is not quite the one that
okay.
is.
Okay, we'll have to withhold a vote then. I thought
Okay.
this was version 6.
No, I'm sorry. No, this is actually version number 1. The initial one. Yeah. So
I don't
to-
have, well, I do have my laptop, but,
Yeah.
all right, I'm not going to hold up proceedings.
I'm sorry.
We'll do this,
Yeah.
we'll punt till,
It does. It
Next.
looked really similar, Dan. That's
I think we can
understandable.
vote because it's 90% the same.
It is. It really is very similar. It just is just
Okay.
minor tweaks.
all right. Then, can I ask for a vote? All raise their hands in favor? Swell. This is, all right. So you snuck that one in, Bess.
Can someone send around the final one?
Yes, I will send
Okay.
that out with the minutes. Okay. Now, recycling and waste management in Radnor Township. I have no updates unless one of you all do. Okay. Maintenance of rain gardens in the township. Tammy Cohen emailed me on the 9th of April saying that she plans to have on the agenda for the Board of Commissioners on the 14th, which was this week, for hiring contractor to restore the 4 rain gardens in Clem McCrone Park and the 3 at this township building. So all the sediment and invasive plants will be removed from the rain gardens. And the task will be for us to work with other groups to establish a long-term maintenance program for these rain gardens.
If I
So
could
they
just
don't,
add, so $20,000 was appropriated to spend to rehabilitate the 7 rain gardens.
great. Okay, so that's for the restoration. Okay, great. So the ball's in our court to set up a volunteer long-term maintenance program for keeping these rain gardens clear of debris, et cetera, so they can keep functioning. Now, yeah,
Can I make a quick announcement before you get to your presentation, just on the garden work nature club at the elementary schools?
yeah,
So just, it won't take long. So tomorrow is an Earth Day festival at Wayne Elementary that it's open to everyone in the district and beyond. It goes from 6 to 8, and we're going to have a table along with Birdtown, Radnor, and the Radnor Conservancy, and a whole handful of others. So I will be there around 4:30 if any of y'all would like to join. Just let me know. And then Mira Shapiro, a parent volunteer at Ithan Elementary, is going to move forward with a small-scale garden at Ithan Elementary where teachers can bring their classes to this garden. She is not working on an after-school program at the moment there. Lastly, the letter of intent to the Radnor Educational Foundation for the book collection, environmental education-oriented book collection has moved forward to the next round in the grant proposal process. And so that will be due next Friday. And so I have emailed you all about the possibility of the EAC funding a small section of like 5 books or something.
Okay.
For each, like 1 book per school, which could continue every year or something. So we could continue to build this library, this stewardship collection. So that's it on my end. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you. Sorry for jumping you.
No.
I gave you the banner, the EAC banner.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, for
Thank
the
you.
event. Which could also be improved, probably. Okay. Well, we're over time in a sense, but this is important to me, I think. We're faced with the fact that the electricity coming out of our walls is at least 65% dirty, that it is generated by fossil fuels in this state. And if we are to reduce CO2 buildup and air pollution, we have to reduce the use of fossil fuels as individuals and on a utility level. So this just dramatizes the problem. 60% of use is 65% fossil fuel, 32% nuclear, and only 3% solar or wind-powered generation of electricity. Albeit the increase in fossil fuel is largely from 2013 is largely due to the increase generation by gas, natural gas, and the fall off in coal, shown in blue. So there is some improvement in greenhouse gas generation and pollution, although it's still an awful large percentage of our electrical generation. So how are we, as an EAC, can we promote the usage of electricity from renewable sources? Well, we do promote the most talked about way, that is for individuals to install solar panels on your home. And we've supported and advertised over the years Solarized Delco as a organization that can facilitate setting up solar panels. And they have a preferred installer that really facilitates and economizes the whole effort. The problem is, unless you have a battery in your home, you are going to be still using electricity from the grid at night. So again, you're back to using over 60% fossil fuel electricity at night. So what other alternatives are there? Well, on a community level, in Pennsylvania, unlike a lot of states, there are proposals for 3 basic programs, or 2 basic programs, that is community solar and community choice aggregation. Community solar is kind of a clever idea. That is, a Pennsylvania wind or solar farm is financed by a select by a select community of members who will prescribe to that particular wind or solar farm and will thus pay that solar farm directly for the electricity that they receive out of their homes. This way, you will be supporting not only the development of solar and wind farms, but also their continued operation. So these are specific payments that a homeowner makes and business owner makes to a particular generator. Community choice aggregation is a municipal-wide program whereby the township or borough would offer to their residents a particular balance of energy sources or companies that would provide their electricity, and there could be a minimum of, let's say, 50% renewable source electricity available to those residents. And that program would then be paid by the residents who enroll in it. This is yet to be approved, as is community solar in Pennsylvania. There are some neighboring communities here that are lobbying the POC to start a community choice aggregation program. And it's been held up in legal matters for the past year and a half. The last thing, which would be high efficiency all electric building ordinances. This would be at the municipal levels. Basically, you are requiring that new construction would support solar panel installation such that you are consuming the same amount of energy that you are generating on site. So this would be a net zero ordinance, basically. And you would be potentially generating more electricity than you are using, and you could put that electricity from your solar panel into the grid by net metering. So unfortunately, these exciting programs have yet to come to fruition in our state. So for now, the easiest way to support renewable electricity is through the purchase of renewable energy certificates. And if I can find the cursor, what are renewable energy certificates, or RECs? Basically, a property owner can purchase part or all of a renewable energy certificate sold by one or more renewable electricity suppliers. So you could have several solar or wind farms that would put their RECs on the market to be purchased, and they could then be purchased by several entities, whether it be businesses or homeowners, whereby one REC is equivalent to 1 megawatt hour of electricity. So that's about 1,000 homes per year. So that one REC would serve 1,000 homes per year. So of course, individuals would not be purchasing a full REC, will be purchasing a portion of a REC. For example, if a wind power facility produces 5 megawatt hours of electricity, they have 5 RECs to keep or to sell to energy users. If you buy those RECs, you can say that 5 megawatt hours of your electricity came from a clean, renewable source. And this just diagrammatically shows you what RECs do. On the left side shows all of the sources for electrical generation, and on the right side are the users of electricity and how with RECs you can purposely support the generation of electricity by a renewable energy generator. Now, the cost of solar electricity, as we've probably heard, has dramatically fallen in the past 15 years, thanks in part to our Chinese brethren, as well as the cost of wind generation, onshore wind. Pretty much the price of gas-generated electricity has stayed pretty much the same, but this renewable energy has now fallen to a level comparable to gas, which makes up the majority of our electricity in our state. So the whole idea of renewable energy, RECs, is quite realistic, and in fact, you can see from PA Power Switch that a fixed rates for renewable electricity, let's say for 12 months or 24 months, is very competitive to a fixed rate for non-renewable electricity. These very high rates up here by a co-op in Philadelphia is due to them anticipating a large increase in electric rates because the capacity of existing generation systems is not going to meet the demand in the coming years, and the regulators say you're going to have to generate more electricity, however that is, renewable or non-renewable. So for now, the cost of purchasing electricity that is from a renewable source is quite competitive. This black line here is the rate from PECO for my town, my zip code, which is about 9 cents, 9.5 cents per kilowatt hour. So yes, renewable rates are a little bit higher, but so are a lot of non-renewables, fixed rates. The caveats to RECs is they are so cheap that they support a solar or wind farm in its continued operation, but it does not promote the increase in production by these wind farms or solar farms. Thus, you cannot say that your REC supports the expansion of a new farm or the expansion of renewable energy generation. So another thing is when you purchase a REC, you have to confirm that it is from, you're purchasing solar or wind generated electricity. There are many RECs that are advertised as using alternative electricity, but these can come not only from solar and wind, but from other sources. Hydroelectric, which is not, arguably not an environmental threat, but also from wood pulping and coal mine methane, I would argue is not a good way to clean up greenhouse gases. So what I would like to do is for us over the coming months or so to think about ways we can promote renewable energy certificates in our township. And because I think a lot of people aren't aware that they exist. And I think this opportunity is so easy to do. I just, in 6 minutes, I can choose a supplier.
But if you go on the PECO websites or any Pennsylvania website to choose your electricity supplier. You can basically switch to a green energy electricity supplier within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So what's the difference to a REC if I did that? Because I just did it last week, because every year you have to switch, by the way, to keep your electricity rate down, because it always hikes up after 12 months. So it's always good to switch the green company that sends you the electricity. But what's the difference to the REC?
Yeah. Well, I think you are purchasing a REC. Even though that you are purchasing RECs through a company that has a nice name like Inspire or Green Energy or something like that, they basically don't represent a particular generation facility. They represent probably many solar and wind farm generators who have sold RECs, and you are now purchasing a mixture of those RECs for your use, for you to get electricity. So you are not benefiting a particular company in this manner. Now, long ago, 4 or 5 years ago, things changed so fast. There was a company called Community Energy in Radnor that actually directly supported Pennsylvania wind farms. And in that way, Community Energy sold RECs that are tied directly to a particular electricity provider. That company did not survive. At least I can't find it now. And the cost of those RECs were pretty high. But the reason is not only because in general they were higher back then, but also because you're supporting not only the operation of these generators, you're supporting the expansion of the generators. So if you want to expand generation, you're going to have to pay more for the electricity you get. Bringing the environment back to balance is not going to be costing us the same it is for keeping it imbalanced. We're going to have to pay more, unfortunately, to correct things. You can turn off the slide, Ian.
So then thank you for the presentation. So the idea or the ask is to think about how we can increase usage of renewable energies in the Radnor Township.
Yes.
Good.
Just, please. Here. Yes, please, all of us, just think about how we can get the word out through our various media and interactions with our fellow residents. Okay, public comment? Yeah.
Diana Pope at 116 Windermere. So related to the solar power, so something else to consider. In every place I know of, if you're a homeowner and you have a place that's great for solar panels, you're not allowed to, you have to attach to the grid. Mm-hmm. And I would suggest that every community have at least one place that actually has the batteries. Because just think of natural disasters. You would want a place that you know you would have electricity, so you could plug in your phones, or you could do this, that, or the other thing if all the power goes out otherwise. So it makes sense to me, whether that's your schools or your municipal building. I mean, you could do it even in neighborhoods, you know, and select places rationally that are, you know, not going to be flooded or not have huge trees fall on them or, you know, whatever. But it seems to me that take advantage of the fact that you can actually store the energy so that you have it available when you want it, if in fact the power is cut off from the outside. Anyway, so that's just something else. We don't need to discuss it, but just worth thinking about.
So these would be like charging stations, but used only in emergencies
Yeah,
for,
that would essentially be the idea,
Yeah.
yes. Uh-huh.
and you would go to it to plug in your phone or,
Well, it would only be in extraordinary circumstances.
Right.
That if for whatever reason, a community is isolated by a disaster of some kind, you would have easy access to power that has, that's sitting in a battery.
uh-huh,
That's all.
okay.
So there are a couple of other things just based on things that were talked about today. So one of them, with leaf blowers, I would ask that whenever you address it, you're actually educating people at the same time. It's not just noise. The noise, well, number one, the noise, it's not only us that are impacted by the noise. So is every other living thing around us, and in a negative way. And the wind from leaf blowers, even the electric ones, is disrupting insects and their habitat, and that is significant. I mean, we want to plant native plants and pollinators, so the pollinators will come, and at the same time, we're disrupting their habitat with leaf blowers. And in general, the idea is to reduce the amount of lawn that people have, because lawn isn't really good for anything other than the fact it looks pretty. And so try to reduce the need for leaf blowers in the first place. Mow your leaves, unless it's really thick, you actually can do that, and then you're naturally mulching your lawn at the same time. So that kind of education, we just kind of hammer away at that. Slowly it sinks in. This is when you're writing articles that go in these seasonal publications or whatever. You can go into a little more depth than you can in a campaign where you're focusing specifically on the noise or something. You don't want to be too complicated. And finally, for the Delco Environmental Clearinghouse, I just want to make people aware that, number one, you need to post things on there. So your event that you're talking about, I don't think is necessarily on there. And what I've discovered, your things, Dan, definitely are for the EAC, which are great. And they're actually come now automatically onto my phone. So I can
good.
see every day, every single thing that's on the calendar on that website. And the way you do it is you go to the Delco Environmental Clearinghouse website, and I have the cards here, you can find it. And you go to the events page. You'll find things listed. Scroll to the bottom, and it has a list of all different, it starts with Google, but all the different calendar functions. You can click on that, and then it will automatically feed to your phone. So suddenly you're populated with all these events. After they have occurred, they disappear. Thank
Good.
you.
Thank you.
Dan, can I just ask you, I just want to make sure that you are working, I think you are, with Molly Gallagher about promoting and publicizing the speakers' events?
The publicizing the events?
The speakers' events?
Yes, I have. I sent the whole list to Molly.
Okay, great.
I do need to add the one that Bess is just scheduled for September. Okay, anything more, folks? All right, we're adjourned at 6. Well, thank you for your time. Mm-hmm.